iShook, my brothers and my friends. We had some glitches, and here's Lauren. Lauren is here. Lauren.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Hi.
Lauren is here.
Right.
So everybody, we're here on a live show. I like to do this regularly if possible. I think it will be possible at least once a month to 2 times or maybe 5 times if we let be with our schedules. So basically, we are here to present our new project starring Daniel Baldwin and future celebs and influencers, the Leviathan. And there's Daniel, the Bobble Daniel, Bobbly Daniel. And who's the next one? Who's the next one?
Family comes on later. Let's go. We're in the
Okay. So we here in iShook Comics. Let me just, guys, I know there was a little beef in a few comments what Super Blaq means. So I just want to show what Super Blaq means, and I'm going to give a little take on what's happening Friday night. So basically, let me share
Friday
my
Night Fights. That's what it is.
Yeah. So basically, this is our Indiegogo page, guys, and we're trying to promote our Super Blaq comic. All right. So here's our Super Blaq comic. We're trying to promote this comic, and we're asking everybody to subscribe or give us some funding here because we need more money to get more team members on our iShook Comics team. So please, everybody, join it. And we're calling it Super Blaq for this reason alone, and this is the reason why. Because the word black in itself means, with a Q-U-E, and we did short for Q, believing in life and achieving a quest for unity in everything. This is what our team truly believes. And this is what the purpose of the comic Super Blaq is, to create a hero super comic that presents purity, lessons, life, action, everything from A to Z. Now,
Benny,
I want to mention something. Go ahead.
Benny, you know what else is going to come together?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's fist and Jake
Yeah.
Paul's
So
blade.
I tell you my personal opinion. Listen, I love Mike Tyson. I would listen. I grew up with Mike Tyson, right? I grew up with Michael Jordan, and I grew up with Michael Jackson. So these were my non-Jewish, my Gentile, and also Kevin Sorbo and the Baldwins. I grew up with these guys. These were the people I saw on TV when I was in my young youth. All right, and I believe Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. It's a real fight. I personally believe Mike Tyson will beat up Jake Paul, and it will be a disaster for Jake Paul. My opinion. Will it be round 2 or round 1? Maybe round 2 because of his age, 58 years old, right? Or 68 years old. How old is he? 68, 58, 68?
How long do you think it'll take him to clean Jake Paul's brains up off the floor?
I don't know.
Okay, so let me enlighten you. And it's a lovely group, and we're making this amazing comic. And there's some very, Michael on the call, strategic investment person, very worldly and knowledgeable. Of course, we have the great Benny, Rabbi Benny, on the phone. Who, by the way, I will tell you, I forgot more last night while I was sleeping than this entire panel has ever known about boxing in their whole life. So let me tell you that I wrote the following note to Mike Tyson today. I wrote the note to Mike saying, Mike, I remember back in the tough days. I remember you, remember Customato. I remember what happened to you in Indiana, and you remember that me and Richard Belzer were there for you when you were in prison and when you got out of prison, to be there for you and help you come back and reclaim your title that was taken from you because of all the bullshit they did to him on that rape charge, and it was bullshit. So if you don't knock this guy's head, crush his skull in the first 30 seconds, no one's going to look at this except for me and know why you didn't do it. Now, let me explain to you what is this about? I went down to the wrestling room for my daughters. Now, I'm 64 years old. I met the wrestling coach, and I said, is your heavyweight any good? He said, yeah, he's pretty good. And I went down, and he looked at me, and he goes, how old are you, bro? And I said, at the time I was 63. I said, I'm 63. He goes, I don't want to hurt you. You don't want to hurt me? And I picked this kid up and threw him on his head, took him down, let him up, took him down, humiliated him at 63 years old. And he was supposed to be this high-level high school, going to a big college. And I absolutely shredded him. Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you something. The only reason Mike Tyson is not going to knock him out, and you may see something like Mike's shoulder goes out or Mike's back or there's a bad cut or some total BS, so they can do it again and make another $85 million on closed circuit TV. That is the only reason this fight is taking place. That is the only reason anyone's going to be standing after 1 minute of it. If Mike Tyson decided he wanted to knock Jake Paul out in less than a minute, Jake Paul would be sleeping on that canvas in less than a minute. So you're watching a show. This is P.T. Barnum, what you're watching. Ladies and gentlemen, she wiggles, she jiggles. Watch the elephant disappear. Did the elephant really disappear? Did it?
No,
No,
it didn't.
did not.
No, it didn't.
No.
All right.
And
All right.
neither is Jake Paul. Jake Paul's a dead man.
He's gonna knock him out of the ring.
Okay. Like Daniel won't argue with me on Talmudic study. I will not argue with him on boxing. All right. So I got the message, Daniel. I got the message.
I like that story he told. I am now convinced that only Tom Cruise and Daniel Baldwin do their own stunts.
That's right.
Real. The energy already is insane.
Listen, you got me and Daniel. You know, we have high octane energy. Like, I think Daniel is like 6 cylinders, and I'm like 8 cylinders. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And I'm drinking my relaxing tea. This is supposed to be bringing me down. Get ready to go to bed.
Awesome. Listen, guys, I appreciate your discussion about Mike, but I always like Mike Tyson. By the way, he's like the best in the field. I think he's like the top gun in boxing. If you think of boxing, he is boxing. I don't know who else do you think of boxing. I already forgot Holyfield.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, but Muhammad is not. Yes, but he's not.
Are we saying ever?
I think Mike Tyson has overshadowed Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali said it himself. Muhammad Ali, by the way, you want me to pop up this interview? Muhammad Ali said to Mike Tyson, he says, I'm a dancer. You're a fighter. He said it clearly, bro. I can pop up the video if you want.
So in Muhammad Ali's time, who was the Mike Tyson? That would be
Muhammad
George
Ali.
Foreman.
Yeah,
No,
George Foreman. Yeah, yes.
George Foreman. And so Ali took him smartly into Zaire, Africa, in 110-degree heat, and let him punch himself out, and then knocked his head off, and beat George Foreman, who was
While
also
laying on the ropes. Yeah.
Yeah, he rope-a-doped him. He wore him out, got him tired in that heat, and then knocked him out. So, I mean, it's really hard to say, you know, who was the great. Let's certainly say they're all in. Every one of these names will be in the top 10, you know, conversation for sure, and in their own right could have been the greatest of all time. But you know, we're never going to know unless they fight each other. Never.
By the way, we got to call Mike Tyson, ask him if he wants to be in Super Black Comic. I mean, like, that's something we got to do. That's ridiculous. We got to reach out to him. Maybe make him a good superhero, like a real, like Goliath kind of, you know, Hercules. He could be the Hercules in Super Black.
He'd be much better with the tattoos all over the place if he was the bad guy.
Yeah, that'll be true.
Yeah.
But the question if he wants to be the bad guy, you know, he's been the bad guy his whole life. You know, he doesn't want
Mike wants to have fun and get paid, just like everybody else.
Maybe he could be an anti-hero. Maybe he's a bad guy who turns good.
That's also
Ooh,
true.
I like that.
That's
I like
a good
that.
one. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, like, oh, yeah, you could do that. Anyway, listen. So we have here near completion of Super Black. So, you know, everybody was here part of the journey. Lauren is like a newbie for us, right? Yeah, Lauren. Welcome to the team, Lauren. Lauren does our PR and manages all our fundraising for Super Black, right? You know, I did the initial fundraising with my private investments, right? Investment group. But now we want to get, you know, the community involved because I believe this is a community project. So before we hit on everybody, I want to first get Daniel. Daniel, you know, I had this idea. I spoke about it. And Rael also knows. I mean, you two both know. So I want to first get Daniel's a point of view. And of course, Michael knows I've been talking for 10 years about this. So we're going to go first to Daniel, then Michael, then Rael. So Daniel, what do you think?
Completing.
Right. Finally, it's completions coming for issue 1. Right. He's like, thank God, enough is enough already. Daniel, what do you think? First of all, do you like the character I created for you, Leviathan? Honestly.
I do. I like Leviathan. You have to understand that when you've been doing this, and there's a lot of very accredited people on here, but they're, you know, most of you guys are younger than I am, or all of you are. And so, you know, when you go through your career and you make, you know, 100+ movies and 10 TV series and, It's rare that you look for something that you really haven't done before. Either it comes up or it doesn't. And here's the situation where I have never been, a perpetual character in a series like this that's been done this way, where all these talented people come together and they're drawing and it's really fascinating for me to watch. So when we have our meetings each week, a lot of times I sit in there and I throw a one-liner to try to be funny and cheer you guys on. But to be honest with you, I couldn't do what you do. I couldn't do it. So I watch more in awe, and I secretly watch the work when you guys submit things, and I go, oh, wow, that's so cool. I mean, just the idea that you could draw something and make a character up and develop their facial movements and the way their hair goes and all the different little nuances that make them come to life. We're making something. This is Frankenstein stuff when I was a kid. We're putting together all the pieces and creating life with multi-characters, the whole family, the whole thing. It really is. I mean, I'm jealous in many ways because I'd love to be able to. I told my wife is 30 years younger than me, and we have a small baby. And she said, did you ever think that you were going to have, a baby in your 60s? And I said, no. I thought I was going to be on some beach or some mountaintop in Italy painting. And you know what? I don't know how to paint. But it was my aspiration that I was going to go to Texas to this friend of mine who's a painter, spend maybe 6 months with him, learn how to paint, and I'd spend the rest of my life writing and painting. No, now, I'm back with my kids and my baby and my wife, and I'm doing. It's a different path that God has for me. But I believe that everything that I do in my life is guided. So there's a reason why you guys are in my life and I'm in your life, in my opinion. I believe a higher power has brought us together to do this work and to possibly make the world a better place as a result of doing it. And we can do that through the storytelling that we do with these characters. We really can. And I was thinking about, I was watching, as you were sitting here, I was looking at Michael, and I'm in a lot of meetings, that Michael is in. Michael is part of the brain trust and the finances and how to market and how to put together deals. This is what he does for a living. He's a true entrepreneur and businessman, but he doesn't say a lot in the meetings. He's usually back there in the background, And when you're Benny and Michael, you're the bosses. I mean, these guys are my bosses on this. I'm not the owner of this. I'm a partner in it, but a small partner compared to them. But I thought about Michael the other day, and then watching him again today. He's like the father when your kid goes to college. I swear to God, it's only the car payment, it's only the tuition, and it's only the food. And then Benny calls back and he goes, well, I forgot about the blankets. Well, I forgot about the gas. Well, I forgot about this.
By the way,
well, I forgot about that.
How many times that happened in 10 years, by the way?
Michael's back there going, it's been a decade. When am I going to see some money?
Michael is still in a serious mode. I'm telling you, no one should play poker with Michael. You're gonna lose.
No. But hey, Mike, thanks, man. Thanks for.
Where did Michael go? He just disappeared. No, I think he got disconnected. One second.
He was
Michael, what happened? Where'd you go?
It's like musical chairs up in here.
Oh, so called that's how busy he is. He's like, everybody wants, and now everybody's gonna know to bump up for Michael for more monies,
Well, let's face it. I mean, you've driven a lot of the stuff, Benny, but without Mike, we're not here.
Oh, so that's no doubt. Listen, 10 years ago,
I want to say thank you, Michael. Thank you.
Yes, and I want to also publicly say thank you to Michael as well. Because Michael believed in me more than probably one of the only few people who believed in me to financially, it's one thing to believe in you, say, Benny, I believe in you, right? But then it's another thing to put actual, time. I'm not saying money first. Time was first and then money. Because the time that he put with me, literally hand by hand, we did things in 10 years that I personally believe no one else could have done with me. I mean, the patience that he has with me, and that's what you need. It's probably my wife and him who have the highest patience for me, in the world.
I love that they're on the same tier.
They are the same tier because my wife, because honestly, he's been with me. Like we went to, I don't know how to explain it to you. Like we did first the concept of the ebook. And we spent X amount of money to see if the concept works. And it was such a huge hit when we were in Digital Book World, which is a show that's now in Virginia. It's not even here anymore. I think Tennessee or Virginia now. It was, and when we were in the show, there were multi-million-dollar companies taking a booth as big as 20 foot by 40 feet. We had a small booth like 5 by 5, and we had 3,000 people coming to us. The big company was complaining to the head people, like, what is going on here? Like, who are these people that are getting so many big companies, big publishing companies, like saying, we love your idea with this new ebook app. And we went through the ebook app. We were very successful till COVID, and now we have to revamp our ebook app. But the success that we had and the amount that we went through, and I gotta give thanks to Michael that he pushed me to cryptocurrency. I was laughing at cryptocurrency, and the fact that we're doing even cryptocurrency was a big thing. Like, I didn't even think of doing cryptocurrency. I had like so many arguments, and I'm like, this is all fake, this is all nonsense. And then at the end, we did our own cryptocurrency. I mean, that in itself, Michael has been a very integral part in it. And obviously, doing this comic is getting back to the things. Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead. We finally want to hear from you. Shoot it.
Today, crypto showed the world how powerful it is. And the people see how much money you can make.
I got something I told, by the way. He left on that. It's very dramatic how he ends it. He ends it very He clears the screen after he makes a comment. I like that.
It's like a mic drop.
Yeah, it's like a mic drop.
It's like a mic drop.
It's a Michael drop.
It is a Michael drop. He's dropping off. This is the new definition, mic drop.
Mic drop.
I got something that Benny will tell you. I'm emailing to you tonight, Michael, that all the money you invested in this company will come back to you in less than 2 months. So be ready.
Amen,
thank
brother.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
By the way, I want to also mention Daniel also really put his name on iShook for the past 2 years, year and a half. No, 2 years, right? It's already 2 years almost.
2 years.
Right? And I want to say thank you to Daniel as well, because he really also supports us, and emotionally and not financially by his name. That's a huge number. And everyone who calls me, like all the business people, I'm not going to mention names. I don't want to, disclose them, but they always say to me, how do you know Daniel Baldwin? I'm like, listen, I don't know how I know Daniel. It was just I got to give thanks to Jared, by the way. Jared and Jared is a big integral part of iShook Productions, right? He's very good writer. He's a great writer. I mean, he also has done a few productions. And Jared was in a pitch during COVID with me, and I'm like, okay. He says he's got Daniel Baldwin, he's got Kevin Sorbo. I'm like, this guy's got a good project, and we're trying to get his project off the roll. And I'm like, listen, Jared, it's a year and a half. I'm trying to collect. I mean, we got to do the podcasting thing. So we do our first podcast with Kevin Sorbo, and then we do a second podcast with Daniel. So I love Kevin Sorbo, but Kevin Sorbo could have said, Benny, let's talk and make some business happen. Daniel calls and says, Benny, let's do some business, right? Even in the podcast. I'm like, awesome, let's do it. I'm excited about it. And boom, from that thing, it went mindful to Michael. I respect him, but he was against it in the beginning. I'm like, no, we got to do this. He's a good guy. It wasn't about you personally. He's like, but I understand. He's like, I invested in iShook. I didn't invest in movies, right? But I said, no, let's get him on board because he can. I think he can bring a lot of energy to our projects and get our projects.
That's so weird because Michael called me after the podcast and goes, I don't know about this guy, Benny. Maybe you can take over.
That was a good one. No, but it was good. It was good. At the end, our discussions came out. He didn't have anything against it. He said, okay, he gave me the blessing to go for it. We went for it, and it's only been blessings with Daniel. And honestly, it's very good, and I appreciate Daniel for you coming on board, especially that now you're in our iShook Comics Leviathan, which is like one of the biggest things I think we're going to be doing. And again, people don't get my vision here. Maybe you guys do get the vision, but the vision is a full universe that can become a game, a video game, can become a movie, can become a TV show, can become a cartoon show. This, what we have here, and Ben, we're going to get to Ben, but Ben will tell you how far, and I've spoken to him a lot about the whole storyline, like how far this is going to go. This is going to go in a way that we're going to have hundreds of books, hundreds of issues on this platform, on this comic. This is going to be one of the biggest, I believe, one of the biggest comics that's going to exist for the next 10, 15, 20 years. It could be the next One Punch, Dragon Ball Z. I'm feeling it at that level. I would say also Naruto, but I want it bigger because One Punch and Dragon Ball Z are much bigger than Naruto. Anyway, that's my opinion. Michael, you reversed for some reason.
Well, he's sideways.
He's sideways, Michael.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, that makes it a property when something is like that. You know, Batman is that way. The Matrix on some levels that way. They've been video games. They've been animated. They've been made into movies. You know, they have action figures of them. They're on apparel, so on and so forth.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Definitely. I want to say another thanks to Jared. You know, Jared is getting a big name drop here. I don't know. He should have probably been in the podcast too. But Jared hooked me up with Rael. And Rael did the first Loaded Deck comic, which hopefully Daniel will be on, I believe, right?
Bro, listen. You talk about a universe. You know, Benny was just mentioning about, you know, what to title this. And so let me just say, the whole iShook experience, I call it, because there's so many facets of this. This is one facet. Whatever we do, I'm in. I believe in, you know, we're watching things go on in the world right now with this election and things that are happening in America. But the door just swung wide open for us right now. It swung wide open like you wouldn't believe. So we're going to take this and many other things. And each one of you is going to come to us as part of the iShook family now and have other things and ideas that you have that are your ideas that we can develop, that we can do. Because we have a universe and a system, a galaxy of our own now, you know, that can do so from talk shows to television to comics. You know, we can do books, we can sell art, we have platforms to sell things. We have, you know, we could create schools that teach people to do what you guys do so well. We can share, we can be charitable, we can be loving, we can create a whole system of things. It's a life of its own that that's what I bought into. So yes, any project that you say, you just tell me, all we got to do is figure out how to schedule it, and I'm in.
Awesome. Love it. By the way, Michael, you upside down, brother. What's going on here?
Sideways, Mike.
You're sideways on the thing. He's switching his phone. I'm going to tell him right now. One second. Let me check. Anyway, Rael, I love Rael. Rael, by the way, did our first comic literally in one day. He did our first comic in no, not in one day. I'm over exaggerating.
Okay, I was like, what?
No.
How did I not know this?
In 4 weeks, Rael drew in 4 weeks. Literally, I wasn't in communication with him then, but in 4 weeks, he was with Jared. 4 weeks, he did a comic in 4 weeks.
Yeah,
the talent. Listen, I don't praise a lot of people, but I'm going to praise Rael. The talent that Rael has, right? And Valdo and Lucy, who did the job there, and Louise, the talent that he has and that team has was something I said, I want to bank with him. Like, I want to make sure that he's always with us. And, you know, it took, you know, we had a little, roughing, me and him a little bit, but you know, it was virtual. It wasn't physical, right? Yeah. But eventually we came together and we said, yeah, that's normal. That's part of a relationship. And the talent that Rael has, I mean, I showed it to my friends, the comic, like, Benny, wow, this is like a 90s, 2000s version of comics that, you know, like, it's nostalgia for them. Like, it's a style that honestly I'm in love with. And I praise Rael for that. Rael, tell us your secrets. I mean, like, what do you feel about this comic? I mean,
he's got it going on, man. It looks great. Raul, before you answer his question, I want to say, so I like review a lot of comics and everything, which means I read a lot of comics from different stuff. I mean, your work right up there, pencil and ink and all that stuff right off the bat. I mean, it's like Marvel DC level. It really is. And you know, you've got things totally different stylistically, you know, and different stuff where you expect to see them. I mean, the way that you draw, I mean, it you could open it up and not see the cover and who it's by, and somebody could say that's Marvel or DC. You know, they have stole him from Marvel Comics.
Thank you. By the way, I want to be so for real. I kind of thought that maybe you used to work there when I saw your work for the first time. I'm gonna be so for real, and I was like, Oh my God, what?
Right. By the way, I want to mention one thing. I forgot to mention Daniel, by the way, predicted Trump's victory, by the way. Last year we had a podcast and Daniel predicted that Biden will retire.
We're not being accurate about this.
No,
So
no,
let,
Biden
let,
will be switched off. That
let,
Biden
let,
will be
let me tell
okay.
you that I said live on the podcast. Do you people have any idea what happens? Do you really believe that Joe Biden is going to run against Donald Trump? He's not. They will remove him at the last minute after he has won the nomination. And they will put, if they're smart, they'll put Michelle Obama in because she's the only one that could probably be.
Yes.
Well, they picked a different African American woman. They did pick an African American woman. They picked her and they put Kamala in. And I said, she's not. I was just banned. My show was banned from YouTube 3 days ago.
They probably watch your podcast and they did this decision.
They
No,
watched
no,
my
no,
podcast.
no. I'm going to chime in here. The podcast that we did last year is under iShook. That podcast is not banned. All right. That podcast and that reel is still there. They can't ban that podcast because go ahead.
So Joe Rogan went on his show and said, "Hey, I heard Daniel Baldwin got FBI blacklisted." Now I got FBI blacklisted, and they said, "Well, why? What did he do?" And they said, "Well, he obviously said something that upset the FBI and upset the people in the administration now." And I told the truth of what I thought was going to happen. Now I went on to say, are you people not aware of what's really going on here? They're telling you in the polls that this race is really close. Donald Trump will win Wisconsin, he'll win Michigan, he'll win Pennsylvania, he'll win Nevada, he'll win Arizona, and he'll win North Carolina and Georgia. He's going to win all 7 battleground states. It's not even close. He's going to win the popular vote, and he will be the next president. And as a result, you are going to see, right now it looks very, very smooth. You're going to see violence. You're going to see stuff happen in the streets of this country before he steps into office. And I went on to predict there's a very likely chance that in the last 30 days, suddenly Joe Biden's going to have a heart palpitation. He's going to have a bad pain in his head, and she will step in to become the 47th president of the United States. She'll be the first African-American woman. She'll be the first woman, and she will take over because supposedly Joe Biden won't make it. I said that. They cut my show off. You know why? Because it's true. Because they're looking at putting her in office right now.
All right. In order for my show not to get cut off, this is all Daniel's opinion. So we all know that's his opinion. That's not a fact. That we will see what will be. But for sure, last year, he predicted at least 3 things that happened. The one thing that did not happen was Michelle Obama being the running.
You straight up just had a Simpsons episode. Like,
we did.
You should write a book.
We did. I have it on my Instagram, by the way. I have it on my Instagram. It's on the shorts on YouTube. I promoted it like a couple of months ago. Like in May, we promoted it even earlier. Like it was a big thing.
I used to do a skit on ESPN called "The Great Nostradaniel."
Right.
The great prognosticator Nostradaniel. It's a character we should look at for iShook and do a show based on, where I just predict things.
Right. Well, now we have to do that because they canceled the other show.
I'm already going up on Rumble, on Truth Social, and on X. I already got it.
No, I'm just kidding with you, Dad.
We could have another character in the comic that you.
Yeah, we could use Daniel and have Daniel look.
How about I make up stuff that's not true and we call him Laliathon?
Listen,
it's a marathon of lies.
By the way, everybody who would watch this post live, right? You gotta understand. This is how we have our meetings.
Yeah.
It's like this is how we brainstorm our meetings. By the way.
Yeah. Hey, Benny. So you were talking about the magnificence of my boy Ryle over there, and he works like a borrowed mule too. He has a work ethic and a half. He's cracking things out right and left.
By the way, people don't know this. By the way, the last 14 days, I had a spat with Ryle. I'm like, Ryle, listen, I love you, man, but I'm upset. I'm like, I got to get this comic done. If we don't get it done within the 2 weeks, when do you think we're going to ship this comic? So Ryle, with the greatness and graciousness of his heart, decided to do literally 14 plus pages within literally 7 to 10 days.
Let him talk.
Yeah, go ahead, Ryle. Tell us the experience of your comic production.
Yeah, so we had the problem with a person giving up. So instead of keep searching new ones, I decided to take the mission, the task, and I I've made the pencil and ink unstoppable.
Wow.
And yeah, and sometimes I like to have all the control for this artistic part.
Right.
So it was very good to finally finishing and bringing to life this whole
Comic.
story. Yeah.
By the way, I want to tell people it's not so easy to create a production company and a studio for comics. I mean, like it's really hard. You need to, if you don't
Yeah.
have like a Rael in your team, loyal friend, you know, we have our arguments. I have arguments with all the team members, right? And that's part of the game. It's
I
not
don't think we've ever
just
argued. What are you?
no, we've argued, Ben. We've argued. We've argued. Oh my
It,
God.
it takes two to
From
argue,
religion
y'all.
to politics to
It,
comics
it
to
takes.
writing.
I don't
Oh
even know what you're
my
talking about.
God. Oh my
Look,
God.
the
I
truth,
have, by the way, guys,
He tries to
the
argue, and I
truth.
say I don't
I have
care.
I have on my phone a Megillah's worth of arguments. Megillah's
Uh,
worth of arguments.
The
Like this guy
truth.
can write a Megillah on one point. Get to the point. Anyway,
I,
let's get to
The
Ben. Let me tell you how.
You'll
Let me
try to
tell you.
argue with Daniel, and he knows who the president's going to be like a decade ahead.
the truth come out out of the arguments. Yeah.
Right. I want to
Okay.
say, by the way, Rael's a powerhouse, and you need another powerhouse, and that's Ben.
Yeah.
By the way,
for sure.
I'm telling you, Ben, he writes so fast. I'm like, I cannot, bro. Like, I read fast, but I cannot keep up with you because it's a storyline I'm trying to create. By the way, Ben, I want to tell you guys, he has written over 30 books. He has his own comics in the works. And I always told him, when you're ready, we'll publish it. We'll promote it. We'll publish it. And I want you to know, Ben was able to make this comic, I don't know, like in 2 weeks. Like, book 1 was done in 2 weeks.
Yeah, very fast.
I mean, yeah, very fast. Don't get me wrong. There was a few glitches to it, like in the sense of first time working, and we're going to modify because everything is a learning curve. But he was able to do something no one else was able to do. I don't think I would have been able, and that's because of Rael.
No, we're technically talking about the first two parts. I think we're talking about like 88 pages, right?
Yeah, bro.
Something like that.
Yeah. So we split in 88 pages. And by the way, he already has book 2 ready, which is 2 issues.
Two-thirds of it because I'm wanting your editorial eye to go.
I know.
And
by the way, guess when that was done? That was done in August, and I pushed it.
Benny's the creator of this. He's hired me on as the writer, so this is totally his baby. So he's got the creative control. So I'm not just like going full throttle. It's like, tell me if this is the way you want it or not.
No, but I want to say the greatness of this is that my ideas, Ben, is really putting it into writing quick. And that's something that you know, by the way, no AI can do what Ben does. So, so that's a big point. No AI can do what a Ben does. So you need more Bens in your company than AI. The AI is only assisted. It's assistant AI. Like it's AI assistant intelligence. It's not, it's nothing else. That's really what it is. And the person has to understand you need a Ben, and then you can use the AI to help you in certain things, certain ideas. Like a lot of the ideas I share with the team, I used AI to depict and create, and I threw it to the team, draw it for me. Like, this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm seeing. And they were able to do it better than the AI, by the way. Like the AI, when something is too accurate, you lose faith on that product. You got to look at something that's not too accurate. You got to see something that's like raw drawing. Like that's something that sells. But people see, when you look at that page, people see the amount of time that was put on that page, and they are willing to pay that $5, $7, or $10 or $20 or $30, depending on the type of books that we're putting out, type of copies that we're putting out. Like that's really the excitement there. And that's why, to introduce our new character in our comic studio, is Lauren, who is in charge of our social media on iShook Comics. Welcome, Lauren. Where are the cheers? Where are the cheers? Where are the cheers? Where are the cheers? Hopefully, Lauren will collect for us millions and millions of dollars.
That's the plan. That's the
plan. That's the goal, guys. That's the goal here. Go ahead,
I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited to get to work with this incredibly talented group of people. It's amazing. I feel like I kind of like just stumbled into a gold mine here, if that makes sense. And then I'm making money for the gold mine, hopefully. So
Definitely, Lauren. Definitely. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I appreciate the compliment, gold mine.
Well, Lauren is amazing, and she's had a background in comics. She had worked for another comic company. Were you an editor? What all did you do there?
I was an editor for 2 years, and then I became the the associate editor at that company for another 2 years after that. It's an organization called Level Ground Comics, where essentially like the entirety of what they do is creating comic book projects for artists and writers to get publishing opportunities, and then creating like crowdfunding campaigns and promoting them to actually get them funded and printed so that we can actually, like, it's a grassroots publisher essentially.
Wow.
Yeah. Now I worked there for 4
What do you
years.
think about the comic so far? I mean, you've seen the pages, you read through it already. You know,
my God.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
I won't. But I love it. It looks incredible. It's one of those things where, like, so when Dan originally approached me about this, where he was like, hey, is this a thing that you would be interested in helping us out with? I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, you know, I would definitely want to learn some more information. And then I met you guys, I started talking to you, and then you showed me the pages and the art, and I was like,
wow,
wait, hang on.
That's good. That's good.
I was like, hang on, I have to do this now. You know what I mean? And it was one of those things where, like, I saw it and I saw the potential with it and just how beautiful it looks. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yes.
I appreciate that. I mean, it took us a lot of work, a lot of time, and hopefully with our, with our success stories, we're going to be able to get bigger teams, expand the teams, and kind of pop this out quicker. And maybe get a gaming deal for it, like a video game, maybe create the game ourselves. We'll see. I mean, I want to get into the gaming industry.
We totally could.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a whole slew of connections of people who are like, like artists, programmers, writer, like, people who would love to create something like that. So
listen, if we can do like a freaking Warcraft style game or a Fortnite type of game style, like that'll be awesome.
Yeah. That'll be cool, actually.
Like you can create yourself as a god, or you can go through the ranks of the gods. Like I have a bunch of, well, I don't want to say too much, right?
my mind was in another place because I'm old school, and I played Warcraft 2. That was the overhead thing, and you went through the fog of war.
They still have that, by the way, and they do competitions in that game.
I'm thinking, oh, he's meaning World of Warcraft. Okay.
Yeah, dude, World of Warcraft or Star Trek Online or Fortnite, like these games, or GTA, like to have this kind of, and we can sell the idea or the skins to Fortnite as well if we can make that deal happen. Like, like those things will be the vision. I mean, that's the vision that we want happening. I mean, can you imagine a Leviathan on Fortnite? Daniel Baldwin in Fortnite? Daniel, you're gonna be a Fortnite, Daniel.
That's so funny because my brain immediately went to like a Final Fantasy like style game, like an RPG, like an open world RPG kind of thing.
Right. Well, we can do that also.
But then also Final Fantasy 14, we could do like an MMO style thing. Okay. Or Daniel can stab people. That works too.
Daniel, what's going on? What are you thinking? Too quiet. What happened, bro? Like shut down.
You've moved out of my world, man. You've moved out of my world. I mean, I have things I'm tempted to talk about. Like, do you realize that every single one of the last multiple shootings in the schools have all been done by kids that play those games? Every one of them.
That's
every
true.
one. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto, Fortnite, and Call of Duty. Those three games are the one thing that every school shooting in America, the shooters have in common.
I think that it's because they're so popular, though. They're not niche at all. Those are super popular games.
I think though, right? And again, of course, and I'm not trying to say in a negative way about what we're trying to do, but follow my logic. When you've walked in a situation where you can shoot multiple people without guessing and just fire away and kill them, and you do it 10,000 times, you become desensitized when you walk in the school and you see movement and you just start shooting it because you're so used to walking in that room and doing it in Call of Duty. So that's how they're able, because you wonder what happened to that kid. His family's okay. I mean, they might have had problems, but certainly we all had problems in our families. We didn't walk in the hallway and gun down 20 kids. But the desensitization of doing some of the violence in these games has absolutely transported over to having an effect on the ones that lose it, because they become capable of doing mass murder.
But is it because they're playing too much of it, or is it because they're playing? I mean, too much of anything is bad, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
if you're
and-
playing 10 hours a day video games, there's something wrong with that kid. What are you doing 10 hours? Unless you're
Yeah.
making money off of it, right? If you're making money off of it, then you're a person who's money eccentric, right? Like you like to make money.
I'm
Right.
just going to say that I
So-
don't think that I can get too much of Victoria, just because when my wife watches, you know.
So again, and I don't mean that. Obviously, there's fundamental things wrong. I just found it very profound that when this one was into science, this one was into hunting, this one was, and they go through all the stuff. There was violence usually in the home, something to do with the father hitting them or hitting the mother or doing it. And the second thing, they all played one of those 3 games. So.
Wow.
There's
Yeah.
something to be said. So maybe, there's some kind of a positive message that we can come from that and figure out, when your kid, we can get the word out there. When your kid's playing that game too much, you might want to take a look, that kind of thing.
Or we could do like a system where you get more rewards playing less, like gradual playing. Like you play at 3, we say stop playing for an hour, and you'll get extra rewards. Claim the rewards now, and it shuts down. We can do
Or
that in
offer
blockchain.
pacifist mode
Yeah.
in the game.
Or in the middle of the game, we cut to, hi, and welcome to the Uncle Benny cooking show. And we give their brain a little rest, and there's Benny making some nice, gefilte fish with, some matzo ball soup.
I'm a steak guy. I don't even like matzo ball soup.
So I mean, beyond comics, and still that is where this is in the graphic novel comic realm. It could go prose, it could go audiobook and whatnot. But I mean, you also have the medium of film, which of course that Daniel's totally thing there, whether it be animated or live action, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that was the idea. That was the idea. Was the film also like we the idea was, let's make comics, let's make books first, see if they sell before we bank on making a movie with them. That was the idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Animated show would be amazing with this art style. Are you kidding me? Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. I think an animated show would be really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's the goal. We want to expand to Brazil and create an anime studio there. That's iShook's goal. That's one of the announcements we're going to make on here. The goal is to make an iShook studio in Brazil and probably other places in the world, but starting from Brazil with our friends. We want to help them first because they're with us from the beginning. So we want to make sure we amplify success stories there. And then obviously emerge to Florida, to other states, with studios, and kind of have these things happening. I think the hard books are the future, and they're not dead. By the way, Barnes and Nobles. Do you see the revival of Barnes and Nobles? I predicted the fall in 2013. I predicted the fall of Barnes and Nobles. I said Barnes and Nobles are going to come down from all these e-publishing companies. Like they're going to lose. They closed so many Barnes and Nobles. This individual, this new CEO just resurrected, by the way. If you ever talk about a second coming, it's Barnes and Nobles. I haven't seen any second coming except for Barnes and Nobles, because now they're planning to create 66 stores, countrywide, and expand slowly. And it's like an experience when you go to Barnes and Nobles. It's unbelievable.
I still don't know that that's on the level of Daniel's stuff, though. I really think that it would benefit iShook if we had like a podcast thing where he talked about what's going on and what's gonna go on, and we could call it the Book of Daniel.
No, for Daniel.
We should start a quote list from these podcasts and do because I love. You ever seen a second coming? It's Barnes and Noble. Like that's a hilarious line.
That's got bumper sticker written all over.
Exactly. we need to capitalize on this.
I don't know if we can. Can we do that? Like second coming B and N.
No, we can make a deal with Barnes and Nobles. We can make a deal with it.
Yeah, all right.
They might want to, but they might want to sell them. Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's pitch it. Lauren, there's your job right there. Pitch it to Barnes and Nobles. We want to
I'm
do
on it.
T-shirts. We
I'm
want to
on
do bumper stickers for them. You know,
With that hair, she could sell anything. Look at that.
Like, yeah, I just go up to. I'm like, hey, Barnes and Noble, I have this pitch for you, and they're like, immediately.
Yeah, that's the second copy, Barnes and Nobles. I love it. Look at that. Look at that. Daniel, what are other predictions that you have?
I predict that when we hit the 45-minute mark, I'm going to go upstairs and make dinner for my family at 8:00 at night.
Wow.
That's a man right there, y'all. That's right.
And you can tell already that that's going to happen. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's in 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 3, 2, 1.
And the great one has spoken.
All right, Daniel. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. See you,
Thank
brother.
you, Daniel.
Man, I absolutely think that great things are ahead. And anybody watching, y'all sponsor this project. Get on behind and fund this.
Yeah.
Share it with people too. If you ain't got a dime to your name, share this and let people know. Because a lot of what keeps people from giving is that they don't know about it. So let people know. Don't just give, but share. You know, spread the word about this. A great team, a lot of people working on this, a lot of things happening, and you can be a part of it just by doing your part and sharing. Go ahead, Benny.
No, I appreciate that plug. It's awesome. Definitely, we need to share this project. We're gonna put on all our socials, all our, you know. I want to share, by the way, the new thing I did is this cool app. Check this out, guys. This is cool app. Let me see if I can share it. Here we go. Can you guys see it? 1 second. There's this new app that lets you create a grid of the whole comic. Look at that.
That's so cool. Oh my god.
Nice.
So this on our Instagram, and this is the whole grid, and I was able to do all this, and I can do multiple grids of the whole comic page. You see?
That's
and then,
awesome.
and then I did over
Yeah.
here. Check this out, guys. Check this out. Hope we're not gonna have any issues with Let's see. Actually, let me go to the other one.
Hollywood.
Yeah, we already did the. Here, let's go to the reels. I want to show you this reel. Check this out, guys. Let's see if it plays music.
That's sick.
That's our plug. Listen, this is me. I did that myself, by the way. Yeah, I did that myself, guys. You know,
That's awesome.
Yeah, anyone who doubts my savviness in social media and my creativity.
No, you're on it. I mean,
yeah, you're out of the game, bro.
What am I even here for, man? You got it.
No, you're here. You listen. We're here together. You know, you're here to help with me on this project. Yeah, so listen. I mean, the whole Super Blaq comic. I know. Listen, it'll be a rough ride in the beginning, and it was a rough ride the past 6 months. But this is 6 months worth of work, and we're not asking a lot for the initial run. We're going to do more runs, you know, but this initial run is going to be big benefits in those who come aboard in our Indiegogo campaign. I mean, but, you know, I really think that if we push this hard enough, strong enough, we're going to have a good comic here, and we're going to have a good storyline that will educate people, teach people, make people better people, more morals, more lifestyle, you know, more things that are cool, you know. And of course, there are going to be climaxes of death and of survival. You know, that's the part of the game, unfortunately, but that's what, you know, gets people more striving in life, you know.
You
And,
say unfortunately, but I've written horror. Benny, seriously though, the storyline, I've never read or seen anything like this before. I mean, you know, it's like when the Matrix came out, and it's not like the Matrix, but like when the Matrix came out, it was so different from anything that anybody had seen that they were just like, whoa. I mean, that has a whole lot of this to that. And you really guided me through, because you were like explaining some things that you had to like stop and explain again. Because I'm like, and I'm a really visual person. You know, I'm an artist as well, like a normal, like full-time graphic artist. So I see in pictures, and it's like, break that down to me exactly what this guy's powers are and what he's doing and what's happening. And you went ahead and you did that right, because I choreograph scenes that I write in my head, which I kind of got to, because otherwise Raul's like, what in the world is he talking about?
You know, but we're gonna make it more fuller, you know, like in the script. But I want to tell you something. I have characters no one has ever thought of before, ever. Non-existent characters that forget about it. And these characters really come as me being a rabbi from my Kabbalistic learning and teachings. Like, you're gonna find characters like these are gonna be characters that are gonna be uniquely to our comic, and it's gonna be huge. I'm telling you right now, and I bank on it. I'm gonna put money on it. I mean, I already put money on it, but you get my point.
And everyone else is gonna put more money on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We need help.
You should make
Yeah,
money
we're gonna
now.
make definitely money, but there's gonna be characters, by the way, in the scenes. Honestly, I think it's gonna be a huge challenge for Rael to draw these characters. Like, it's gonna be. I mean, I'm gonna sit with you, and we're gonna sit together, us three, and it's gonna be huge, huge. Like, it's gonna take a while for everyone to figure out, how do I do this. Like, it's gonna be crazy.
That's exciting, though.
It's very
the fact
exciting.
that it's that
and
unique.
We need support to keep going and advancing and creating the new stories.
I trust the people in social media and the American community and all communities that they're going to support it. I honestly believe they just got to know that it exists. It'll take time, you know, like it'll take time for them to know that it exists, and hopefully the time will be faster than later.
And even though this is a crowdfunded thing, and it's going ahead and that's propelling us forward, it's already being funded. It is a no risk thing. It is absolutely going to be finished, because you know, people talk about that you'll have they call them grifters, and they'll have crowdfunding things, and then it never comes to fruition, or it's a year down the road.
So
it's almost print ready. It's almost print ready.
Right, it's almost print ready. Let's clarify. We have private investors who will match community investment.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we already have that in play.
We are also launching our project on Indiegogo instead of Kickstarter, so that we can, even if the funding program doesn't even if we don't reach our like total goal, we will still be able to keep whatever you have donated to us, and use that to push things forward.
Which will be awesome. This is what we need for sure. And then obviously, I think the first issue will be ready on print on demand through Amazon, literally by the end of this week or next week, actually. Like, it'll be ready print on demand by next week already. Be able to get the first issues already available by next week, in color, in black and white, and in everything. You know, it'll be already available.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's all thanks to Rael's superhuman drawing skills.
Thank you. Yeah, I did my best.
No, you did a great job, bro. You did a great.
Your Rael isn't Leviathan.
Rael will make a character. Rael, we'll put Rael as a character. We'll get it.
I would add too that by your saying so, Benny, that this is totally PG, that it's completely appropriate for younger kids to read, that it's not shocked with with anything. You know, it would have been G when I was a kid. I mean, shoot, they showed us Old Yeller, and that was like a Disney children's movie. It's like, no, son, you got to go out and you got to kill your dog, and it's like foaming at the mouth and everything. This is totally like appropriate for younger audiences, because they've got a lot of comics nowadays that they look kind of like young, but then they're more on the PG-13 like end. You know, you get Stray Dogs and Feral, they look like a Disney thing, but they're a bit more adult.
So what we're trying to do in language wise, we're trying to diminish language, not make any racial slurs, not make any any cursing in there. We tone down 80% of sexuality in this comic, and that's the goal. We don't want to objectify women to extremes the way other comics do, but again, we still, or men, of course, for that matter, but we're trying to create it as normal as possible, in like a real life setting, and a real, in a real like mythological setting, which is really this season what it's about. It's about mythology. It's about, whatever it is. Next season is going to be even bigger. The first 13 books are going to be awesome. I already have play for the next 13 books for next season. This is just season 1. And if I hope we can get season 1 done in the first year. I mean, that's the challenge. And that's really what we're doing. The crowdfunding is to increase our speed of work, right? Not necessarily the really what people are supporting is to get more, whatever that Lauren put into the Indiegogo, which is our budget plan, but it's really to help us get this much fasterly done. And that's really what we need the help on. We need that help on that level. Go ahead, Ben.
And also to pay our wonderful, beautiful, creative people.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Benny, are you secretly plotting on hiring an army of Riles?
Yes, I'm trying to find other Riles.
Let's just clone him. Wait, we can just clone him.
I wish. I
Yeah,
wish.
a lot of
Question is,
clones.
can you clone talent? That's the question. Can you clone talent?
Mm.
I don't know if you can clone talent, but we can find someone
Yeah.
close to him that
Call
maybe
in
can train
Elon
under
Musk.
him.
He'll do it.
Yeah. I don't think maybe Elon Musk is working on a secret cloning project. Who knows? We don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like he's sending too many rockets. No, but it's for Starlink anyway. So listen, in my opinion, like the reality is that if you have a good team put together, like my main goal in the future is that we have a big enough comic studio to help our other artists get their project off the ground. Like that's really what I'm looking for. Like really, that's what I want to happen. That's my ultimate dream, where people can submit their projects, get someone to look at it, independently from us. We'll hire independent so we don't have any conflict of interest issues, and then and copyright issues, and actually help others build their comic as well, guide them, work with them, and of course, iShook is going to make money with you. I mean, that's the idea. Not make money off of you, make money with you. That's a big difference, right? And that's what that's our main goal in the business. Like book industry. I've been in the book industry for 20 years of my life.
And I hope the people can meet us at the many events.
Yeah.
That
I'm already signing up for a few Comic Cons. Yeah, a few Comic Cons. We'll also promote it there. And thank God because of Raul, we have this new book coming out, right? We'll actually have a copy available in the Comic Cons for sale, right? And for distribution. And that's very important. Like, you have to have a team that's dedicated, that's willing to sacrifice their time and success. And thank God, I bless all of you guys and the guys who are not in the show now, which is Kat, Louise, Valdo, Lucy.
Yeah, they are very important too.
Right. And Diego and all the other ones, Salviano and Natalia, all those who helped till now to make this project happen. We appreciate every one of you guys, and definitely, guys, listen, I do a bunch of podcasts, right? Don't look at the 5% that you don't agree with me. Look at the 95% that you do agree with me with, right? And that's really what happens with everybody. And we appreciate everybody's work, honestly. And we appreciate Lauren coming on board. We appreciate Daniel. We appreciate Michael. We appreciate Ben. We appreciate Rael. We appreciate Jared. And we appreciate every single producer, every single investor, private investor, local investor, the $10 investor in Indiegogo, the $5 investor in Indiegogo. We appreciate every dollar, every cent, every support in every aspect. So please follow us on our socials. And we're going to put that in this YouTube channel and within 24 hours. And we appreciate every single person's great work that they've done. Much respect, much success. And I think we're going to call it for a day. Till next time at iShook Comics, baby.
Yeah.
iShook.
Like the video, share it, click the parenthesis and the bell and all that stuff, all that goodness.
Yeah, do your part.
Do your part, guys. Let's go. Like Daniel and Michael say always. Be well. Till next time.